October 6th, 1993. Sean was born at 10:39 in the morning.
Megan was born on my 23rd birthday.
I got there at 6:30 and gave birth at 9:30.
Stephen is our first child, and he was born in the end of 1990.
You know, I had taken my time that morning. I put makeup on, you know, a little mascara, a little lip gloss. I shaved my legs. I checked into the hospital at 10 a.m. and Meg was literally born at 10:14 by emergency C-section.
You know, they put him in my arms briefly while I was still, you know, having the C-section.
And the pediatrician put her on me, which I was very happy for. And I said, how is she? Her eyes look a little swollen. And he said to me, she's got 10 fingers and 10 toes, but the pediatrician will look at her.
And then whisked him away to the NICU.
We kind of thought something was wrong.
And she was pretty immediately ventilated, and I mean, it just happened so fast, and I just remember just praying so hard that she would live. I just wanted her to live.
I found out that John was going to be Down syndrome when I had the amniocentesis, to find out, is this going to be a boy?
She was very much like the center of attention in that emergency room for a while. Maybe that's why she likes being the center of attention. That was her first life experience. She shook things up pretty well.
My father, he was a gynecologist, and I think he knew when Eleanor was born, but he felt that, oh, maybe this is the facial feature, might be because it's a mixed child.
The doctor came in and...
He said he had the characteristics of Down syndrome.
Yes, he said they had the facial characteristics. And Sean was stuck in my birth canal for 3 hours. He just looked like a smushed, you know, doll. I saw they kept lifting his arm and dropping it, so they were checking his muscle tone.
Yeah, they said low muscle tone was one of the characteristics.
Eleanor was very strong physically, so she wasn't really floppy baby. My father felt she's very mild, and we can bring her back up as normal as we can.
The doctor sat me down and he says, it's a boy, but he's going to have Down syndrome.
We didn't have any idea before he was born that he had Down syndrome.
I didn't know she had Down syndrome or suspect anything was wrong until that evening when the cardiologist came in and told me.
And he says he's going to be disabled, and he probably never will be very functional.
The doctor called me, said he wanted to speak to me.
He will be dependent on you for the rest of his life. He may not have a long lifespan.
And I remember standing there and he said, well, Gary, I just want to tell you, we have reason to believe that your daughter is mongoloid.
He'll never be an asset to society.
And they delivered the diagnosis. The doctor looked at them and said they used to call it mongoloid, and I flipped out and said, don't you ever use that term to describe my child ever again.
This was in 1982, so just the word mongoloid was very much still in use at that time, and all I remember was the world literally spinning, and I thought I was going to faint.
And it's so funny because I sometimes can't remember even where my car's parked or what my grocery list was, but I will never, ever, ever forget those words.
And he just kept giving me all these negative things. And I looked at my husband, and my husband says, our son will be fine. God's not going to give us any problems or any headaches that we can't handle. He'll be fine.
I was shocked, I was sad.
First, I was in denial because I said, no, God's not going to do this to me.
The next couple days were awful. You go through a mourning period. We didn't know anything about Down syndrome. When you find these things out, all kinds of stuff runs through your mind, particularly back in the day when so much less was known about things.
The only thing I knew about Down syndrome was, you know, the actor Chris Burke, who played Corky on Life Goes On.
The only thing I knew was an episode of the old TV show Quincy starring Jack Klugman, who had had a character with Down syndrome.
And that's when I said, well, just go get a book and we'll read up on it and see what it is, because I didn't know much about it, and Sandra didn't know much about it. Just dealt with it from there. I mean, there never was a aha moment. It just was always, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, part of mine was just being overwhelmed having a baby. And I remember my reaction just wanting Stephen and Dave to be like with me. As long as we were together, we were okay.
And then my husband and I sat and talked. And he said, you know what? We've got to do whatever we can for John. So he says, you can stop working. You can take care of him the best way you can. You can find out where to go, who to talk to, what to do. I'll take care of everything else. You just take care of our family.
The first step that put us back on a more positive road was when we met with the genetic counselor.
She gave us a whole different perspective. I remember asking her if Rachel could get married, if Rachel could have children.
I quit my job and I started finding out where to go, what kind of opportunities did he have, what kind of help that I could get for him.
I remember her just being pretty amazing because she said to me that it really depended on her environment and how she was raised and how she was grown and what her potential would be. And it made me less scared.
Yeah.
The pediatrician that we had selected, his advice was like, well, let's just wait. Let's not go there until it happens. You know, like, don't make problems that aren't there.
Now I think why I was sad, I don't know. Maybe I had a dream that my baby will be mixed child, so pretty, and she will have a different life than what she has now.
We were still very lucky that Rachel was born in 1982 and not 1972 or 62 or 52, where she would have been put in an institution. We began physical therapy with her and occupational therapy when she was, I think, a month.
Yes.
I think a month old.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that has a baby, you get what you get. Rick and I are very religious, and I realized that my purpose would be found in Sean or in any child that I had.
She is so happy and blessed that as a human being, and it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful.
You can make your life anything you want.
I just want to feel love.
I'm here, I'm alive, I'm human. We have to stick together.